bridge, right? So just without Pete for a second, I always want to think about, I want to be able to push with my hips as high as possible when I bridge. Okay, so like we've just talked about in the warm-up, I always like to have this space, unless I deliberately lift in my head, I like to have this space as flat as possible, so there's no cross faces. My hips, I tilt my pelvis before I lift my hips. Because, just have a go at this for me a second. This is like, if I just take my hips up, I can get them to about here. Yeah. If I tilt my pelvis first, so I'm tilting my pelvis first, I can get my hips far higher and I'm pushing through my hips. And when I do that, you'll feel more weight goes into the head. Without question, this gets flatter. I tuck my chin. Yeah, so you should feel every time you tilt the pelvis, your hips go way, way higher. So to take this now back to my scissor sweep, like fundamental mechanics, and repeat in the scissor. Now, the ideal position for the scissor is when the guy's legs are relatively close together, right? When he takes his knees super wide, it becomes like I wouldn't do the scissor normally when his legs are super wide, because his base is very strong laterally and he's weak forward and back. And the wider he takes his base, the easier it is for me just to basically get up, would be the most obvious thing, right? His base is that wide, he's got no forward and back movement, he's strong side to side. However, for the purposes of practicing my scissor sweep, this is going to show every bit of it that's wrong. And that's actually what I want. I want to be able to work it against a really strong base and get everything as correct as I can get it. Yeah? And then I know full well that if Pete comes to go near me, he gives me the sweep. Right? Anytime he brings his butt away from his heels, this starts to go on. But if he's sitting his bum down, he's got his pelvis tilted, this is going to be hard. Right? And so he can feed me a little bit at the end. But what I want to begin with is to have everything as good as I can get it. So first things first with the scissor sweep, my heel needs to be always above my knee. And I'm trying to connect it, I like to go just above his hip bone. I may correct this later on and sound wrong in saying this, but that feels like it gives the direction that I need to begin to put him down. I never ever take this leg. This is one of the most common mistakes I see, particularly when the guy is up a little bit. People have this habit of hooking their leg in here. This is absolutely wrong, because now I'm pushing against my own leg and I'm holding him in position. Right? So I can try all I want there. What I really want is to have some bite against that knee. So this is another piece of it. This leg is completely against the ground, knee is down, heel is pushing against his hip bone. I'm then going to adjust my body to be in a little bit. I get my legs connected, but I'm not quite going yet. I'm going to try and tilt my pelvis a little bit. So I engage my pelvis and I extend away from Pete, like a back extension, to sweep it. Yeah? So I've still got this visual of doing this. I'm still tilting into it because I want my hips pushing forwards. Everything is about getting this idea going with it, and I'm extending my back away from it. So we're here, heel above the knee, I'm biting, I've got that engagement to begin with. I shuffle in a little bit, I tilt my pelvis, and now as I'm pushing with my legs, I extend away from him. And up I come. Yeah? One more time. Heel above the knee. Legs engaged on the scissor. I move in a little bit. I don't want to be starting from too far out, because now I've got no extension. So I'm not pushing through that leg. I've got nothing to push through my leg here. It's here, pelvis, extend away. Yeah, let's give it a go.